रेगुलर बिल्ड्स क्या है? When release become frequent, it also become important to be able to build and release in a lean way. If not, much time will be wasted in producing these releases that are needed to get customer feedback. Making it lean can be done in three ways: having always releasable code in the repository, performing a less formal release process, and automation of the build and release processes. Before you can even think about releasing your code, you have to assure that the code you have is of good quality. In traditional development methods, this is often done by a separate team that integrates the code and does QA. In Agile, this is done by the developers as they go. The ideal situation is that the code in the repository is always of the highest quality and releasable at any time. This is not always possible, and you can then use a mix between the traditional way and the agile ideal by having multiple development lines. The developers unseen integration line to check in high quality code and so stay in synchronization with the rest of the developers. The QA team uses a separate line to pull in changes from the integration line and does a proper and formal QA before they promote the approved changes to the release line as seen in figure 4. This is the developer workspace and this is the integration line and this is the release line. In agile methods, there is a general tendency to move the focus of QA from coming late in the development process just before release to being a center of attention as early as possible in the development process. This means that agile can do with a less formal release process than traditional projects because much of the work has already been done. However, there is still a need to do physical and functional audits and to work with bill of materials such that earlier releases can be recreated again if needed. In agile methods, functional audits can be carried out by running the acceptance test. They are the specification of the requirements that should be implemented to be really sure that we have implemented everything we claim. We should check the list of acceptance tests against the list of requirements we claim have been implemented in this release. We also need to check whether all the files that should be in the release, example configuration file, manual documentation, etc., are actually there. When releasing becomes a frequent action, there is much greater need to automate it. The actual creation of the release can be automated by using build tools, acceptance tools, and the verification that all files are there can be automated by writing simple scripts. तो जैसे कि ट्रेडिशनल में होता था, ट्रेडिशनल मेथोडोलॉजी में क्या होता था कि हम लोग क्या करते थे, मॉड्यूलर अप्रोच को अप्लाई करते थे, मतलब मॉड्यूल्स में डेवलपमेंट होता था, फिर इसको इंटीग्रेट करा जाता था। तो अलग अलग टीम्स होती थी इंटीग्रेशन के लिए, इंटीग्रेशन एंड क्यूए अलग लोग परफॉर्म करते थे, डेवलपमेंट अलग लोग करते थे। बट इसमें क्या है कि जो एजाइल मेथोडोलॉजी है इसमें डेवलपमेंट जो डेवलपर्स होते हैं वो वही इंटीग्रेशन भी मतलब साथ ही साथ इंटीग्रेशन भी करते रहते हैं, साथ ही साथ इंटीग्रेशन भी करते रहते हैं, मतलब डेवलपर्स का ही काम होता है।